because that'd be easier.
Trying to remember how to use Zoom, are you?
Oh, trust.
It's been a while. It's been
The
a
last
while.
the last couple of episodes have just been like all Messenger because I had so many issues with Zoom. So trying to remember all my little bits and pieces.
Welcome back to another episode of the Five Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast, guys. Today we are joined by myself, mark number 3. I am Carmo. We are also joined today by mark number 4, which is Martin. Martin, say hello.
Hello, remembering my number this week. It's great.
It's great. But today, ladies and gentlemen, I am absolutely delighted to tell you that we are joined by a very special guest on today's podcast. He just recently competed in a tag team match at the OTT 8-year anniversary in the National Stadium in Dublin, and he is by far the greatest wrestler or the greatest referee in all of pro wrestling. Please welcome Niall Foxy Fox. Foxy, how are we doing today?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing well.
That was a hell of an intro, wasn't it?
Yeah. Like the
Mess it up a little bit.
like,
Mess it up a little bit.
whoa. Like slow your roll here. Like, no.
Oh, I was just saying there to you, like I cannot tell you, like Karma wanted, like we were putting out like who do we want on. Karma was Foxy. He wanted to have you on so badly.
Yeah, 100%. Like massive fan of everything you've done. I've watched you over the last couple of years, over the last year or two, and just phenomenal. Like absolutely phenomenal. But again, thank you for joining us today. We're just going to kick things off. So, Foxy, can you tell us how you got into wrestling? How you kind of started off being a fan, and what kind of drew you into
Uh, so basically, like like most people, I tell you, I started off as a kid, so but it wasn't the normal way. Like, so my first memories of wrestling was the likes of Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart. I remember that distinctly, like in the early '90s, but like it wasn't till it would have been the late '90s when I actually started watching it properly. So that's when you had the likes of The Rock, Austin, Mankind, Undertaker, like it. So it was a drastic difference. But during the course of watching that, like you also see new people like Chris Jericho, the Hardy Boys, like Edge and Christian, the Dudleys, uh, like the likes of the Radicals as well. Like it just those uh, too cool. Those a strange mix, but like the Hardys were definitely ones that appealed to me and kind of kept my attention as well. Um, but yeah, I grew up through the Attitude Era, so like obviously I like the big few that were there.
it?
Um, but
I've got to ask you just because I'm sorry to cut you off as well. I got there's two things. First off, I just want to point out to all the viewers the background you have for your little office there is absolutely amazing. See all the Funko Pops and everything behind you.
there's more like literally like just off camera as well. Like
What type of? Well, I know this is a wrestling podcast, AJ. I'm sorry, but I'm a Funko person as well. Like, what type of pops have you got there behind you?
so like the actual main ones that I'm collecting at the moment for myself are Dragon Ball related, Naruto related, Pokemon, Sonic the Hedgehog, and the odd few Batman related stuff as well. They're the ones that I'm actually collecting myself, but I also buy others in so that I can sell to people that actually want those particular ones.
It's
As
in all
every Funko owner does.
it's
Like,
in all the chase ones.
yeah, like those limited editions, then getting stuck with them for months.
And what about the background? What's all the like? Is that t-shirts hanging up and stuff like that, or
Yeah, like I have t-shirts that I've picked up over the years, like hanging up in the background. Like so like you're only seeing like one row. There's a second row above it as well, which has like Team White Wolf, like Young Lion, Captain Sexy, the Woke Queens, and Raven Creed. So like yeah, like
it's a
there's
really cool mixture. Like obviously, like my background now, people seeing is like completely wrestling related, but like yours is such a mix of stuff. You know, it's really really cool to see.
it's a reflection of my mind. My mind is very strange. Like it's not organized in the slightest. So,
But sure, when is anyone ever done? Like mine is so all over the place. If I just show you, like even I've got well, it's wrong camera. I've got like normal Funko Pops up there. I've got a collection of all the rest of WWE games that came out. Nothing is organized. It's the same as yourself.
and like apart from like what you see here, like literally in front of me, it's like Xbox 360 games, Sega Mega Drive games, Nintendo 64 games, Switch games, DS games. What else is there? A PlayStation 1 game, and a lot of like anime related statues are in a glass case there. So yeah, like there's a lot of things that aren't visible on the screen. So
Still, what would you say is like your favorite thing in your collection? Like this, you're not getting rid of.
uh, I'll show you now actually. So, simply because it's one of a kind, you will not get anywhere else.
Is that a session moth pop?
It is indeed.
What?
Yep.
No way.
One and
That's
only.
unbelievable.
What's the story behind that?
So strange enough, it was actually a fan that goes to the shows. Just randomly I think they had put up on either Instagram or Facebook that they were looking about doing like custom stuff that are just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
And I said, maybe you should try do this. And they got back to me and was like, do you want it? I was like, yeah. I was like, hey,
I'll take it.
I didn't think I thought maybe yeah, then she's probably gonna charge me or something like that. No, I'll give it to you at the next show. Sure enough.
Happy days.
Like apart from that,
That's savage.
like apart from that, Funko, like my actual my favorite thing that I was ever handed was this. So
Oh wow.
so
No way.
Just
someone took the time to actually make this.
just for the people who aren't maybe watching
That
on
is
YouTube,
awesome.
he's Foxy's just showing us now a one of a kind custom figure. That is absolutely amazing. Look, they've done a background and everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm looking at the details now. It's like height 5'8". I'm nowhere near 5'8". I'm 5'5" if I'm lucky. That, and also my debut year is no, it's not 2011, so it's a lot earlier than that.
I like that as well now, just because I'm a figure collector. It's in the old Jack's kind of classic superstars box as well.
Yeah, exactly. Which is kind of I mean, the fact that the guy took the time to do it, but he didn't charge me, didn't that, and he just handed it.
It's crazy.
Wow.
And he's done this for quite a few of the wrestlers on the scene. People that he likes, he just makes them and then he gives them. And it's amazing what he does. So
if I was him, I'd make two of them, get one of them signed. Never know in a couple of years.
Exactly.
Foxy ends up on NXT Europe. It's worth a whole load.
You never know.
Exactly.
You never know.
That's the next step. That's definitely the next step.
But I'll go back. One question we asked ourselves in one of the early episodes of the Five Marks was our earliest wrestling memory. So what's if you go back to when you were a kid, what's the earliest memory that comes to your head, if any?
Bret Hart with the sharpshooter. That is my first memory of wrestling.
And how many of your friends who are younger did you put into the sharpshooter?
At least
6.
Man, the one handy thing was that when I was growing up, and especially during the late 90s, wrestling was big because the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
So it was cool to actually be on your school break and let's actually have a wrestling match in the yard. Even though you're not supposed to. And you're wrestling on concrete, so it's yeah.
And the teachers are there placing bets. Yeah, I think Jimmy's got this one.
Teachers are just walking by and it's how would you ease up on that? Like, come on. Like, it's like, or you have like a couple of lads on lookout, just like, right, if teachers come along, like, give us the show.
All the old scream, they're coming, and everyone just disperse.
We're not doing that. As soon as we have eye shot, like, just like, but yeah, like during the 90s, so like a lot of my friends were into wrestling as well. It it was just like, so it wasn't a bad thing to like wrestling.
It's completely different. Like, so I grew up, I'm only 24. I grew up with the Ruthless Aggression. And at that point, everyone, like all the kids were kind of dipping out. Like I grew up, it was not cool to watch wrestling. It was not cool. So, we still did all the wrestling, throwing each other's into trees and everything. So just even like, when you said like, oh yeah, just watch out for the teachers, I can just picture me and my mates as well going, just coming, disperse.
Absolutely. Like thankfully, like the friends, my friends that I grew up with, like we were all into wrestling. So like that went on even till like late into secondary. Like it wasn't until I was actually in 5th year of secondary school that I actually decided to start wrestling. So that's when I actually like, it was through an advertisement. So back during the like mid 2000s, there was a channel called the Wrestling Channel on Sky, and it's no longer there. It's been gone years, but it had it always had a mixture of different wrestling, whether it be like pro wrestling, Noah, New Japan, Mexico, like just wrestling that wasn't WWE.
What?
So it was just like a foreign concept to people. Like Ring of Honor was on it as well, and CZW, like advertisements for these different promotions. Like you wouldn't see that now. Like,
No, I could, like, for me growing up, it was Sky had WWE, and then like on Challenge or something, you'd watch TNA at the time.
yeah.
Wrestling, oh my god, I would have loved that.
Yeah. But but also on that channel, and it's the only promotion in Ireland to ever do it. Irish Whip Wrestling had a TV deal, and they were shown on the wrestling channel. But they also had advertisements that would play, and they were advertising their school. So it was through these advertisements that I seen, oh there's actually a wrestling school. Like, and it was through my my brother-in-law that I actually, he said, yeah, like there's an actual school, I can show you where it is. Like showed me, and I was too young. You had to be 16 to join, and I was 15 at the time. But waited I waited till I was 16, and literally the day after my birthday I went straight down. So started my training.
Should have just done a Becky Lynch on it, like, yeah, I know, I'm 16.
Believe me, there was actually someone there that was like, you could just lie about your age. Yeah, but like,
no.
Still.
I would be truthful to them.
Because I'm terrible. Like, I'm just like, yeah, I'm this. And a week later, I completely forget that I made the lie.
Go back on the lie.
Yeah. Complete, like, just get caught out. So I decided to wait. Start my training, but would take breaks here and there because I was still in school. And then when I tried to go back in, then I go to college. Then I took the break, and then just tried to jump in and out every chance I could. But it wasn't till around 2010 when I properly started going. It's just because like I thought I'd do the usual thing of being like, right, get my education first before I do anything,
and then go into wrestling.
Yeah, before getting into wrestling. Now, granted, like all I could think about was wrestling. Like you see documentaries of people say like all I could think about was doing this. It's like, it's true. Like that's all I wanted to do. I didn't care about anything else. Didn't care about college. I was just like literally counting down the fucking time. Like like, can I go? Can I go? Can I go? But as I said, once 2010 rolled around, there was a new promotion that came about, which was called DCW, Dublin Championship Wrestling, and I me and a few others look back on it because like it's just ridiculous, but at the same time though, like I look at it fondly because like it gave people a chance to work on shows. B, they took a chance with like characters that wouldn't have worked anywhere. Like just they were willing to take the chance with it. But also they were the first promotion that actually utilize social media, YouTube,
Mm.
and like video promos, like but also utilizing radio stations as well to advertise, which don't know, you don't really get that. Like,
Really trying to get their name out there.
yeah, exactly. Like it was different, don't know, but it was just for the good things that they did. There was also like 20 other bad things that
Yeah,
it,
that cost them everything.
it like the bad things far overshadowed like the good that they were doing.
Yeah,
But like it was true to like this that you got the likes we had Pete Dunne and Ryan Smile and Damien Dunn. They were this was their first introduction to Ireland, and it was actually through this that they wanted to come back, and they came back during OTT during the early years. So
yeah.
uh, like in a roundabout way, if we didn't have DCW, we wouldn't have had Pete Dunne or Ryan Smile come to OTT from the beginning.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Like, two very influential stars for OTT. Like,
exactly, because like I've said it before that okay, Pete Dunne and Ryan Smile were constantly working in the UK and traveling to different places, whereas like a lot of people over here would only probably do it once a month or twice if they were lucky. Where but to watch a Pete Dunne and Ryan Smile in a match, it just the performance that they're putting on and the level that they can perform at, it kind of gave us the kick up the arse to actually like, right, this is the way that we should be going, and we need to get there quick. So we would have gotten there, just it would have taken a lot longer. But
yeah.
having Pete Dunne and Ryan Smile there, it did give us the kick up the arse that we needed to kind of like, right, let's start going toward this direction.
Let's start doing something.
Yes.
Start making a name.
Yeah, exactly. So
100%. Was it around that time that you were wrestling as Mickey Magpie, or was it Space Cadet at that time?
I thought that was dead. I know someone that keeps bringing that up, but like, yeah. They so when I debuted in 2006, so before my debut match, I went up to the promoter and I said, "So, am I coming out to my actual name, or do you have a name, or what's going on?" And I remember I'm 16 at the time, so it's just don't know. You don't know anything. You're just
you're just there. You're there. Like, I'm so happy for this opportunity.
yeah, exactly. So it's just like so he just like looks me up and down and just like Mickey Magpie. Like that.
One look.
that reaction. That's what happened. I laughed in his face.
You thought it was a joke.
Yeah, I thought he was actually like ribbing me. I was like, oh no.
Oh, you're serious?
Actually serious. Oh, okay, fair enough. Roll on with that. Name didn't even last a month. Like by the next month, I was called Malachi Magpie. Then the month after, it was Malachi Magpie, and then another month later, there was something else, and then eventually, I got chucked with the mask. So the mask I was given. So I was given it very, very quickly because it was something different. because it also allowed me to kind of come out of my shell as well.
Mm.
And because sometimes people can be very shy and timid, but I'm more of the mindset that you put me in the costume, I'll feel more in the character that I have to be or the person that I'm expected to be. And it does help. So it helped me for years. But the reason I got the mask in the first place, as I came to find out years later, was like just cause the promoter thought I was a goofy looking cunt. So
Oh, we need to put a mask on him.
yeah, he he's an ugly bastard. Let's put a mask on him. Then I was like, ah, great, thanks. But no, but like it was a nothing character. Like it was just chucked on me, and I tried to make
The
some
best
of.
of nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And to be fair, like it wasn't until 2010 when I actually started really utilizing the character. I mean, as a joke, someone said, "Why don't you walk to the rings in slow motion?" I started doing that. So I'll be like,
Did the spacewalk.
meanwhile, everyone is moving at their normal pace, and it's like, meanwhile, I'm still like committing to the bit. But yeah, like, uh,
The people
yeah,
staring, they'd be there going, "What is he doing?"
yeah. Space Cadet like came from like, don't know. It was just chucked on me, and I tried to make something of it.
And how long did you have that for? The Space Cadet.
So I got that in 2006, and I used it for several years actually, like on and off. So like I didn't act. My last match was 7 years ago.
Oh wow.
Jeez,
So
yeah.
so yeah,
Well,
like it's a long time.
no, at the time, 7 years ago.
Yeah, at the time. It's very different now. Like just I feel like a certain major star just like gone away for 7 years and then come back and then getting pissed off at everyone and just leaving. Just I did the opposite. I never went away.
I never looked back. I never will. So, so obviously, as Carmel pointed out, you were you the Space Cadet stuff, but like, how come the transition then from wrestler to ref?
that that came about because I was wearing the mask. So
Uh,
basically, like a lot. It's been done in wrestling for years and years and years. Like normally, when someone is working under a mask, chances are they're probably out in. So if they're wrestling the first half, chances are they're out in the second half, refing the show. It
oh,
especially if there's more than one masked wrestler, they usually alternate.
yeah.
That was actually the case for myself and Thatcher because he worked under a mask as well at the same time. So we would just alternate between being a ref and wrestling on shows.
That's actually a smart thing because, like, realistically, no one knows who's under the mask. You know?
Exactly. Well, that's the idea. Like, don't know, but it kind of got to the point where, okay, my I was kind of taken to the ref side very well, but like my ref bookings got more and more, and my wrestling bookings got less and less, and it was a weird transition that I don't like. It was almost like non-existent, like kind of transition. But uh, I I love being a ref. Like it's fun. Like you have the best job ever. Like and the best seat in the crowd.
Oh,
Like
you're there in the center of everything.
yeah, like you're so like a lot of people think like oh yeah like then you're front and center then you get to be part of these matches. Yes, that is true, but like there's a lot more to a referee than people really realize. Like, I mean, ref has to be like a timekeeper, a first responder. I mean, like, then it has to make sure a player coach basically like to make sure that people are okay, especially with trainees. Like, it's I love being able to help trainees in their first matches because it means that like they don't get as nervous when when they're going out for the match. So like obvious for people that are involved, but like little mistakes that people tend to do is usually like they forget, oh yeah, I'm after being like beat up and my back is supposed to be wrecked, but as soon as that bell rings to be done, I just yeah, I'm good. No, like I do remind them, it's like, don't forget there's a camera there to the right, they're watching you. uh do a full circle so people can see why you're in pain. Don't forget to sell your back, like
Settle
little,
everything.
yeah, exactly, sell everything, but like it's little things that people forget, especially in their first few matches. So having an experienced guy in there to kind of help them along is, I would have killed for that. Like
Oh,
killed for that.
100%.
Like
Did you
absolutely.
did you find did you find that being a wrestler before you transitioned into a referee helped you become a better referee?
Yes, absolutely. Because I already had the basic knowledge of how to not only to bump and sell and feed, but like how a match works, how the moves work, how spots work. It just like it made it a lot easier for me to be like, okay, what do I not like when I'm wrestling, like from a ref? Okay, let's try not to do that, and trying to apply that. But I I had the ultimate like fortune of I worked very solidly for 3 years with Wrestling.ie, which is not around anymore. But back years ago, like it was a traveling promotion that went across Ireland all throughout the year, working different towns every week, sometimes multiple shows a week. So I was very fortunate that I worked those shows solid for 3 years straight, and so it was multiple shows a week, but I was working with the best crew ever. So you had the likes of Joe Bray, you had Paddy Morrow, you had Justy, you had Bonesaw, Corvin, Paul Tracy, like Sean Maxer, Jordan Devlin, like Alex Breslin. The list goes on of like very top level like people in Ireland. So like I had no choice but to get better. So it made me feel a lot more comfortable and learning how to engage a crowd as a referee, because I would be able to be the first person to tell a future match is like, right, don't do this. They don't like these kind of spots. Focus on the haha, like do this. Being able to give that information drastically helps a show overall, because then the crowd aren't getting like all the same stuff each
yeah.
match.
You're
Like
getting something different
100%.
each time to keep you engaged.
exactly. And what would necessarily work in what would work in say Dublin would not necessarily work in say Belfast or in Carlow or in like Tipperary. Like you had to learn like, okay, different crowds, they're gonna have different tastes and what is gonna work. So yeah, I started to learn how to do that as well, how to gauge a crowd, like in that aspect.
That, that,
And
that's a really good tool to have.
mhm,
Like, not many people get that for such a long time. How to work a crowd, how like okay, this spot worked here, but maybe not might not work there. During a match, as a referee, have you ever like maybe you know, said to the guys, hey, maybe do this and see if that works.
mhm, I have like
Oh,
I've done that kind of stuff before, because like it's sometimes a match could be like very quiet, and just like, okay, people aren't responding to this, right? Mix it up, do this instead. Okay, grab this. I'm standing here. Give me a shove. Things like that. Like people like will get into it because of certain things. Like they want to be engaged. They want to forget about outside for X amount of time that they're here. So it's our job to actually engage them enough that they forget about that, forget about outside. This is all you're focused on, and we want you to enjoy it to the best you can. So yeah, like any way you can enjoy engage them is is the best way to be. Like
oh,
that's why
100%.
there's some good. That's why there's some good people out there that are fantastic when it comes to crowd work, like LJ Cleary, Session Martina. Like they're unbelievably great at being able to engage a crowd and keep them invested. So
You just mentioned Session out there. It'd be stupid if we didn't mention obviously recently the National Stadium. Stepped into the ring once again, took on Renzo Rose, and you can see the jumper in the background. What was that like stepping into the National Stadium for that tag match?
man, so like it was so it was amazing to finally experience a stadium moment as a wrestler as opposed to a
Ref.
referee. Because now, granted, this is only our second stadium show back since like lockdown and all that. But like our first show back was the first time that me as a person referee like took took time at the start of a show to actually just take it in. Actually like stop for a second, look around and just absorb it. And like it was an amazing feeling. Like obviously because we were first stadium show back, having a big crowd like that. But like this time around, I kind of tacked onto it where I was like, now I get to experience it as a wrestler and to to be able to actually enjoy it and engage as well in a different way capacity was just unbelievable, like an unbelievable feeling. That's why, like, with the video clip that I had shared on social media, it was like, this is a moment that I won't ever forget, and it really won't be. Like,
It was absolutely, it was an amazing match as well. I just, you pointed out earlier on, working the crowd, getting the crowd, everyone obviously want you to step into the ring, and obviously there was the hesitation by yourself. My sister she's never watched OTT before, and she came to the show, and as soon as you got that tag and stepped in, she jumped out of her seat and just yeah, even people who have no idea what OTT is, and like my sister, still was so engaged with the fact that, oh, Foxy, get in the ring, get in the ring, get in the ring. And the moment you stepped in, just pop.
like, but that's amazing. Like, that's what we're supposed to do. Like, it. So when this came about, like, it's the idea of it was like brought up to me, and I was just like, okay, like we're thinking of doing a match. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm sure I could be able to do that. Like stadium. Oh,
Oh no.
uh, are you sure? This is legitimately my answer. I was like, are you sure? Because like being with OTT like for since day one, it's just like I understand how big a deal it is, and I treat it as such because it's just like I I don't want I don't want me to be the reason why a show has kind of like sank in terms of like people's enjoyment. Like I don't want to go out there for the sake of like just for my own like personal like shits and giggles. Like I do want to actually contribute to the show
Yeah.
as opposed to just yeah. But
and
like,
hit one of the best stunners in the entire show as well.
I like I didn't want to like I didn't want to completely forget about the fact that I haven't been in a ring for over 7 years. So it's just like, right, let's not like try to hide it. Let's acknowledge it. That's why like the hesitation and being scared, like that's that was me. That was me in the weeks leading up to this. And just uh but I also wanted to keep everything that I would do simple enough that people could enjoy it, but also digest what I'm doing rather than going because you're going to have like 7 other matches that give you all the wrestling, all the wrestling. Whereas like I wanted to give you moments that you could just, regardless whatever moves, like you remember it. So the likes of that, like finally getting the tag, and it's like people reacting, and it's just like, or like just a stare down before like the actual initial like strikes. Like there you go. There's moments rather like I became more of a storyteller rather than an actual like a wrestler. So, and to be honest, I've absolutely loved being able to do that over the last few months. Like just tell a story, because it's so much more fun, and it's for selfishly on a from a teacher standpoint, it's the best example I can give for new trainees that think that like they can just go out and do moves. No, this is the perfect way to do it and make everything mean more. If you slow down and just look, forget about the moves, focus on actual telling of the story.
Tell us. I honest to God, I feel like that's something that's so lost. I know there's people out there that like their moves, like their spots. I am such a person when it comes to a story. Love storytelling. Like one of my last favorite let's say feuds was Ciampa Gargano.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Like I was there in New Orleans for the first match, and even the no theme song, Go Out to the Booze. I I turned to my mate who was with me and I was like, they gave him no theme. Oh my God, listen to this place. Like, oh, it was amazing. And with Renzo Rose, the two of you have been on that for so long. You know, I was at Fight 'Em All, obviously, where Renzo finally started attacking you and Sishmoth came out. But is it safe to say though, was Foxy stopping Renzo from winning?
No, no,
Definitely not.
like that. That's the beauty of the story. It's like I I was not like I was not hampering him. He was looking for something to blame, and I'm the perfect target. So, uh, but therein lies the beginning of the story, don't I? And
100%.
it, like just having that build over time, slow born, but like, look, by the end of it, like you come out hating Renzo even
Even
more,
more.
and but when you actually take a step back and actually look at the entire storyline, watch his growth as a performer, and it is astronomical because this is a person that has all the ability in the ring, has the gift of the gab to be able to go on the mic, and especially in front of a big crowd, like which is not easy to do, but also keep their attention while on the mic. That's very difficult to do, but get better with each show. And like this is just the best way that I can actually say that yeah, like he's a fantastic talent. I think he's gonna do really big things. People like should take him in now while they can, because I guarantee you, a couple of years time, he's gonna probably gonna be on TV. I guarantee it. Like
Oh,
that's how good I think
Which is
he
a
is.
massive step, yeah, 100%. Do you think it's the last time we're ever going to see Foxy versus Renzo Rose?
I don't know. I don't know the old adage like never say never, but like don't know. I thought my wrestling days was done. Don't know, I didn't think I was gonna be wrestling. Sure, like especially for OTT, I didn't think I was gonna be wrestling at all. So like hell must have froze over. But look, I don't rule it out. If the story warrants for it, maybe. Like I'm happy to go with
with
that.
with with
Um,
with this year in the wrestling world, it very much is a never say never year.
yeah, true. Like, the amount of people like just torn up and like in different places. Yeah.
It's a never say never year. Um, I, I, I didn't mean to cut you
uh,
off. Cut you off there.
gra-
I still got Carmo.
No, I was just going to mention there as well. So obviously you had your match against the Rose team with Nishmat Martina, but later on in that night you actually came out and refed for Joey Gray and Sammy D. How did they kind of feel after coming off such a high moment to go back and put on the referee shirt to come out for such a big match?
It was very weird because like I wasn't expecting to come back out so soon. And like I would have fully expected to come out after intermission. That would have been absolutely fine. But like um but again, like I was working hurt as well, which is not good. But because I had gotten hurt the previous night in Wolverhampton, and
Oh,
it just yeah, like small was it? It was small muscle tear in my lower abdomen, uh, which the so basically I worked the match for it, then had two matches break, and then had to come out and ref, and then completely aggravate the fuck out of it, and that put me out for the remainder of the shows that weekend. So, yeah, it it sucks. It really
yeah,
sucks. So going from a really big high to just being like, right, can't do that now. Great. I have to wait.
jeez.
I have to wait until I
And how
heal.
was the injury? How was the injury now? Are you healing up a lot?
Oh yeah, like it's getting there, like slow, like very slow, but they said a few weeks anyway.
One
So
day at a time.
yeah, that's the last thing I want to do is just aggravate. And at this point, like I want to get
That's
back to
it.
work. Like that's the thing.
We'll
uh,
definitely have you back at the National Stadium for Scrap Romania anyway.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I have to ask this because obviously, you've been a ref, as you said, for so long now. At what point would you say, like, because you are such a treasure in Ireland as a referee, like I'm only just starting to follow Irish wrestling because this was something I had no idea about until Carmo showed me, and you can just tell even like how over Foxy is with the Irish fans. Is there a moment there where you go, yeah, that's where the fans started to really come along with Foxy.
Uh, so it happened actually like a few years ago. It was it was really like through. It was more just like building up like goodwill with the crowd because on non like recorded shows you'd probably see me do like silly things in between because like we're not being recorded, so like let's have a bit of fun. I've done a couple of like adult themed shows where like someone would come out with a hat, they probably drop it. I'd pick it up and just put it on my head and just stand there waiting. Like just purely for my own amusement as well, because you gotta find your own entertainment at times. And also I kind of want I like ribbing the boys as well. Like just to see like how long can they go before like they have to actually like either rip this off me or like just yeah.
How long until they get involved?
Yes, exactly. It's just but it's more just okay, I'll do it and it's for my amusement, but it adds to a show because a heel might be able to like, okay, I'm losing them. Fuck it. Let's get heat on Foxy. Give me that. Like just sad. but, oh yeah, like it was actually true a few years ago, like started just started realizing that like I was taking the piss a little bit on some shows, but people kind of like took notice. And then also with the very rare occasions where I would do things in the ring, that kind of like got me over as well. But I got more comfortable with my job, like as the years went on. Like it took me years to actually get comfortable, and it's only in the last few years where I've been like I'm more comfortable in my role than I was when I first started, like
Yeah.
drastically, because I was put down that right back when I was 16 and I started wrestling, you would not get this conversation at all, uh, unless I had wrestling. So uh, over the years, because like I've kind of put myself in uh, either situations or roles that require me to be interacting with people or like being in front of a crowd or something that kind of like forces me out of my shell because I'm normally a recluse. Like I'm normally like locked away somewhere, like just
Yeah.
to my own devices, like nobody bother me.
Everyone stay out.
Yeah. No, but I got more comfortable. People seem to like when I would make the odd jokes here and there or acknowledge them during said matches. So I think that was really it. Like it just slowly built up over time. I can't give you like one exact moment because
It's
like
just it's slowly
it
but
was
surely over
yeah,
time, people just started to gravitate towards Foxy.
yeah, yeah.
So um
And you actually started getting involved in the matches as well, didn't you? Like I remember a match from OTT Dread back in early 2020 against Club Tropicana. You actually did a dive to the outside of the ring as well during that match, like
I
which
did
must have been crazy to do, especially after not wrestling for so long.
yes. So the so the dive like I done on a early like OTT show, like a very early OTT show, and they'd asked it like if we need something like different. Then I like what if we got you to do the dive again? I was like, well, sure if you want, but like just make sure someone's close so I don't hit my shins. But like no, it worked out a lot better because like working with the right people, it just made that moment so much more fun. Because like I did the dive, then chucked one of the lads in, went for the pin, and Paddy Morrow is the one counting the pin. So it's like one, two, kick out. And I start giving out to him. It's like, that was three. It's like, that was two. Then we realized, like, that was two. So, like,
having a bit of fun.
yeah, exactly. Like, that's that's all it is. Like sometimes it starts off as like, this would be a funny spot for like people, but it actually becomes a more fun moment for us working with each other because you may not get to work with each other in that kind of capacity. So this kind of like for especially for people that you wouldn't think you have a major chemistry with, like don't know, you probably worked with each other, but you never worked in that kind of like okay ad libbing how do they actually bounce off each other, and sometimes it works out really well.
Yeah.
So
The one no, I'm not sure if I'm sure there's probably another company out there do the same thing, but like as a referee with with OTT, um when like if say we're doing like a show like the anniversary shows or even Fight 'Em All, you're out there for anything between 2 to 3 to 4. How do you do it? That's a long time, constantly going match to match to match to match. Obviously the breaks then, but it's monster energy.
no, like as like the easy answer is monster, but like lots of water, but um it's strange. I've good endurance. That's the thing. Like I've built up really good endurance over the years. Like, and it's because like because I work every single match. It's more a case of like okay, then I have to know this. I have to know my cues. I have to know this. I have to make sure to know the times for this. So I just for doing that for so long, it gets easier, but at the same time, I'm not getting any younger. So it does get tricky at times, depending on the venue that you're in. And more often than not, the killer is usually either the lights or just the heat, the humidity in the room.
Yeah.
That's usually the killer. But but once I have plenty of water nearby, like I'll do the whole show. So like, it's all I know how to do in that sense. Like I just go on with it. Like
I
it's
I gotta ask this funny story now because obviously every wrestler's there's wrestlers have told like there are moments where they're going, oh shit, like during a match. Has there ever been a moment where you've gone, oh lads, I really need the toilet now?
yes. This has happened at least twice, 3 times. Um, at different points through the years. But the most recent one is in the stadium. It was not this one just gone, the previous one,
Yeah.
and we were getting ready. So it was not the main event, the match before. So the semi-main event was on, and before the match came out, I'm actually whispering to Dennis, like the ring announcer, and just like, lad, you need to get someone ready just in case. He's like, why? What's up? Like, I'm about to shit myself. Like, it's like, I wouldn't even mind, but it's like absolutely fine. And then suddenly it's just like, you know, that awful
Yeah.
pain that you
Yeah.
get. And it's like, that's fucking sudden. Oh no. Oh no. Go away. So getting that awful pain, it's just like if this keeps up, I'm gonna end up like I'm gonna end up going in the middle of the ring. Like I'm lucky I'm wearing black pants. Like you need to be ready to buy me time to go to the bathroom. So it's like, right, I'm gonna run, I'm gonna get someone ready just in case. Couldn't get anyone ready in case. And when the main event was coming out, I was like, lad, this match better be fucking short. I was like, no. It's like
Quick and easy.
get through the main event and literally sprint to the back, and I can't go.
Oh.
That's what's even worse. It's like
Oh.
get to the bathroom, can't go, then come back out, and just like, right, nothing. I'm fine for now. Fine for now. No, there's that feeling. Run back. So yeah, it does happen every now and then, but thankfully, no accidents in that sense.
No, no accents.
Thankfully.
That I said I had to ask because I know like there's plenty of wrestlers out there that told the stories and they're all, it's always a bit of a laugh, for the fans and stuff like that. But you've been a referee for so long now, obviously, over 7 years. What would you say? I know you've refereed so many matches. What would you say was, the match that you refereed? Like you knew the fans were into it. This match was so good. What would you say was the best match or one of the best matches?
Like so there's a couple there's a couple matches that really like kind of stand out. Like one is my personal favorite just for the significance of it. And that one is from a contender show, and that is Terry Thatcher versus Sky Davis. That was for the NLW championship. It was the finals in the tournament to crown the champion. So that was like very very good for me because like they had a great story going into it, and also because of like who was winning it, it just it it meant a lot. So I was delighted to be there for that moment as well. Um, another match that like don't know, like another match that I'd be remiss if I didn't actually like mention about them is literally like, so take your pick of any combination of the Jordan Devlin, David Starr, Walter like feud. Like take your pick of any of them because the type of storytelling that we could do during the course of that like is unreal to the point where like at several different moments in any of the matches you could be like, we have them, we've got the crowd, no matter what the hell we do next, they'll, whether they're happy or sad, we have them. We've gotten the reaction that we need to get from them, and it's an amazing feeling because I've explained it before on a couple of different things. My my stream as well. I've done it a couple of times while watching the match. But me as a referee, there's a certain reaction that I look for big matches, and when we get it, that's when I know instantly. It's like we've got them. Like we don't have to do anything else after that. And it's always like sometimes it comes in the flurry of like don't know big moves being hit, big moves, and then suddenly it's like one, two. People are fully convinced this is it. This is it. One, two, kick. Like at the literally the last second, when you get that like, oh, like it's like the air has just been stolen from them. Like it's just a collective gasp. It's like we've got them. It's just like that's amazing. Like it's like people always say it's like certain reactions. It's like a drug. Like you have to keep chasing after it. And it's like it is. It's very intoxicating in terms of like when we have a crowd like that, you're always chasing for it again. But the key is knowing that like once you get that, that's when you can actually like right. Doesn't matter what we do next. We can go into the finish now if we had to, and that'll be it. People be satisfied with the match regardless. So they be like the kind of like the matches that I'd be really holding up there, and
That's some of the top.
Some of the phenomenal matches. Just on top of that as well, obviously you've refed a lot of kind of gimmick matches and stuff like that, whether it be like a singles match or a tag team or like a 6-man or a hardcore or ladder match. Do you have kind of a favorite match that you'd like to ref? Or again on that, is there a match that you don't like refing?
I know one match that I will never do, and that's death matches. I don't like. I've said that several times on different medias, even on my streams, several times. Like I don't get the appeal of tearing yourself apart for nothing. Like for there's not enough money you could pay to warrant that kind of brutality, and not a big enough crowd to even warrant it. Like it's just why you're left with permanent damage after each one of those matches. It's not worth it. So death matches are a no for me. Like like a very hard no. Like it's just nope. But in terms of like I I I don't necessarily have a favorite like match type because like I enjoy my work, so it's each match can be fun. Like it just depends on either the situation going into it or the storyline or the people that are in it. So it depends on what kind of like relationship you have with the people you work with. So if you have a good relationship with like everyone, then you're not really like working. You're having fun. I especially find that's the case when I work with Justy. Like he entertains me to no end. Like I love working with him. Be Cool was the same, just constantly entertaining. It's I love working with Martina. I love working with Thatcher. I miss working with Carvel, Steve Carvel. Like I would love to see more of in OTT because I think he's fantastic. I've been saying this since day one. Um, I just feel he hasn't gotten a proper chance to really showcase what he can do. Uh, but yeah, like I don't really have a favorite like match type to be honest. So
Absolutely. Again, on top of that, if you like, obviously you've refed so many matches over the last couple of years. If you could ref any single match with any wrestlers involved, have you any particular dream match or anything like that?
you need to. What's the parameters for this match? Because like,
It's up to you. Anything up to you. It can be a Royal Rumble if you want.
um, okay, one is more just of a novelty of it. Um, I would love to see Terry Thatcher against Minoru Suzuki.
Oh dear God. He's trying to kill the man.
He has actually tried the pitch for this because Suzuki was in the UK recently and he tried to pitch for this to happen. And it was only because he said it that I was like, oh, damn you. Damn you.
Now I have to see what happens.
Now I have to see what he is going to do to you. Because there's no two ways about it. You're getting beat the fuck out. But like that'd be like a funny, like fun one. Like, but realistically, like I'd love to work with. I would love if there was ever almost like a cross promotional kind of thing where we had, for example, like a couple names from a couple of different big companies coming over and say it's either a multi-man tag match or a like several like singles matches in a tournament style like show. Like I would love to see that kind of thing being done because it'd be nice to see our lads mix up with the top stars from different companies and see how they mesh together kind of thing. I think could be really good because we've gotten glimpses of it before and we tend to do really well like in big pressure situations with big matches. So it'd be interesting to see when you're required to be on a very high level. Like so.
Yeah.
100%.
Now, I like that you said that you love to see like all the different companies mesh. Really, like this day and age, and like I know like a lot of people. So some people that don't actually know this, there are people, OTT like former OTT stars who are wrestling in the WWE. Like biggest like big one you name Jordan Devlin, JD McDonough at the moment. You know, one of the things we're trying to do with this podcast because it's such a good scene of wrestling. Like as I said, I'm only just watching. Like getting into seeing what the Irish scene has because it's not really talked about. It's so like we'll say down under, you know, that I want to show people that there is this side. Like what are this like? I know you mentioned Jordan Devlin, Walter. What are some of the other big names that like OTT and you have like had in a ring?
So like. Where's the list? Like I'm laughing because like it blows my mind like the names that we've had in the past that we've worked with or I have worked with, and it blows my mind. Like we've had people from New Japan, Impact, AEW, WWE, like MLW, like Ring of Honor. We've had loads of different promotions in between as well. Like so you had the likes of Walter, Jordan Devlin, Ilya Dragunov, like I'm just naming a few from Europe alone. Like so you had who else? A Kid, before he went to WWE, Tyler Bay must have like Trent Seven, recent one.
Back in OTT.
Yeah, we've had Mr. Anderson, we've had Melina, we've had X-Pac, we've had Abyss, Chris Hero, Hornswoggle, Ricochet, Will Ospreay, Minoru Suzuki, LIJ. We've had Rocky Romero. Let's say Tomohiro Ishii.
Cardona.
Like then you have like from WWE, like obviously Pete Dunne, as well. There's quite a few actually. Like, and it's just like there's a lot. It's hard to keep track of them.
Even the names you just said are huge names. You know, like who would you say is the one person that came in and you just went, "Oh my god, I cannot believe we got you."
One because he just suddenly turned up. Was Finn Balor. Finn Balor just He literally turned up because this was the only chance he had.
When he was injured.
Yeah, during his injury. It was like he just because I know their OTT was trying to see if you'd be able to do something, but they were getting told no and like not sure because he's injured and stuff like that. But then I think it was like a day or two before he gets a message just like, right, I'm in town for X amount of time. I have a camera crew with me. Like, would it be all right if we just did a walk on appearance? It's like, yeah. So a lot of us didn't find out until literally the day, like literally just seeing him there, and we were just like, wait, is he actually doing something on the show? Oh, he is. Shit,
Oh my god.
he's opening the show. Like fuck. But his was like the very like holy shit moment, especially for in terms of Irish wrestling. But in terms of big names, like I always loved, especially back in the Tivoli days, I always loved not knowing and then seeing the announcement being done because it meant that like I could feel everyone's reaction in that one moment. And whether it be someone that I knew or not, it's like, okay, you can get buzzed by that. It's like, that's cool. Like they're really into it. So that means that we should have a good show. Um, Mick Foley would be the only one that I actually like became a fanboy. Like like literally like in split second I became a fanboy and just like I became 16 again. I was like don't want to say anything. I'd like I'm being quiet. He sat on a bus with me for 2.5 hours and I barely spoke to him. And I'm like, he's asking me questions and I'm just like,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, I'm not sure. I'm I'm trying to get someone else answer the question. I'm like,
You're absolutely starstruck.
yeah, like it just he's the only one that I was actually like, shit. I'm actually proper like I'm becoming I'm a mark boy. Like I'm marking out like and it's just like
Don't say
ma-
that. Don't say that to Cardona. It'll cut a whole promo on you.
I know, but that's the thing. Like certain people like that, it just you never know when it's actually gonna hit you. That's
That's
that's crazy about it. You
that.
could
But
be in it for years, and it'll probably be like the person you least expect that'll actually give you the make you feel that way again.
that's one thing we've been saying. Before the anniversary show came about. You had Scotty Too Hottie on.
Mm.
I was saying to people, you never know in OTT who is going to turn up. Like the Christmas show now, you've got Carlito
Yeah.
coming in. Absolutely huge. The last time I saw Carlito now was '05 at a house show. Go to an OTT show because you never know who's going to show up. Like I don't think, as far as I know, Scotty wasn't promoted to be there. I could be
Nope.
completely wrong.
It was a
Turned up,
surprise.
literally turned up, and even I watching it on OTT Demand, I went, "Oh my god, what?" Never know. Tyler Bate was in Wolverhampton.
Yep.
Again, you never know who's going to show up in OTT. So it's absolutely an absolute fun night. But you spoke about Renzo Rose and how you feel like Renzo's going to be a big star in the future. I can think of so many names in OTT. Who do you really see? Like, yeah, you're going to be a star.
LJ Cleary.
Oh,
LJ Cleary, Session Martina, Debbie Keitel, um, Terry Thatcher. Uh, but like every one of those has different things to offer. So that's why I say their names. And whereas like there is people that I would like to mention, but then either I haven't seen enough of them to warrant it and I can't back it up, or there's people that have still to realize like how good they can be. So that's why I can't name them yet. But like there's so many, like, just in Ireland alone, that have the potential to do so well. And it's just a case of like, right, then we need to see more of you. Otherwise, like if you're unfortunately, if you are doing shows and you've been around for a few years, but you're still only doing your hometown and you're not traveling the country to work with different people, unfortunately, people aren't going to know you. And if people don't know you, they're not really going to push for you. It's a shame, but it's the truth. You only get better from working with someone who is far better than you. Because if you're stuck in your hometown, you're probably working the same people like regularly. So
Do
you're
the
only
same
gonna go so
thing.
far. Like your ceiling is only gonna be so far. Whereas if you work someone that's far better, that forces you out of there and brings you up to a different level. And therefore you can enhance whoever else you face after. But you only get better when you face people that are better.
A great example of that is look what LJ Cleary's doing at the moment. You know, he just had the All Atlantic title match with Pac.
Mm-hmm.
Just had the match in the stadium with Cardona, and even Cardona is putting it down as one of his best matches in his career.
Yep.
You know, so just facing people who have a bit more experience than you, who can teach you some things, and also you know you can put on a hell of a match with them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Have you got any more wrestling related things, Carl? Before I
I was
go into
just I was just going to say on that point there. So I've heard you talk about before, like when the Irish scene kind of kicked off, that a lot of people didn't really travel over from different promotions within the country. Do you find that's a massive help from now to what it was back then? The fact that people can actually do that, like.
Yeah, it's a big difference. So like back in like 2006, like the only people you probably heard of like that were traveling was probably like maybe one or two lads. They were probably traveling to the UK, doing the odd few shows there, then coming back and trying to teach whoever was here. Whereas now it's so much easier to get to not only afford travel but also to go to these different countries, that you can actually you have multiple people from the country traveling out, branching out, learning from different places, bringing it back, but also vice versa, going just constantly traveling and trying to get better. Uh, we're like a hybrid of different aspects of wrestling from around the world, and it's so that's why like LJ is a great example of someone who's currently like out there just wherever he can and just absorbing any information he can. And he's bringing it back here and coaching in the School of Irish Wrestling. Like it's and in Fight Factory. So it's just the way it is. Like you
Yeah,
you kind of have to force yourself to travel, unfortunately.
Step out of your comfort zone.
100%.
Exactly.
100%. And even at the moment, like as you said there as well, with like OTT, you've got Fight Factory, you've got Rebel County Wrestling, Hard Knocks Pro Wrestling is starting up in Limerick. It's great to see so much wrestling going on around Ireland at the moment. It's great to see some new faces depending on where you go, as well as some of the same faces where you go. But like, it's massive to see how much Irish wrestling has come on over the years. Like it's crazy.
No, absolutely. Like it's just because like back in 2006, I know I keep like harking on about it, but it's like back in 2006, there was only like NWA Ireland, there was Irish Whip Wrestling, and then if you were lucky, there was one promotion up in the north, which like people barely heard of. Whereas like now it's like okay, you have Fight Factory, you have School of Irish Wrestling in Dublin alone. Like it just seems to be the usual where it's like there's always going to be two in Dublin. And it's mad because like the two schools are actually 20 minutes away from each other. Like you could walk to like to each school. Like but like you have those two schools, then you have Hard Knocks Pro Wrestling, which is a school as well, opening and which is open in Limerick, and will have their first show on the 20th of November, as far as I recall.
Correct,
You had Rebel County, who had their first show recently as well. They're just going to be Cork based. Then you have Titanic Wrestling up in North in Belfast. You also have Next Gen. They're up north as well, but I'm not sure whereabouts. And there is was a CAW, which is to the other side of Ireland. I'm trying to think what county, but yeah, there's a few schools that are scattered around Ireland, but realistically, like the best schools in Ireland are in Dublin. It's
Yeah.
hands down, like I fully believe that, like the best schools are in Dublin. So that's why, like when if you go to the School of Irish Wrestling, chances are you're going to see people from different countries going there to train. Like we've had people from like Italy, Spain, France, like from the Netherlands. We've had like people from Germany, people from like America come over. It's just like you have the best coaches like on the scene, like there, like and then Fight Factory is a fantastic school as well. Like you have a lot of classes that are catered to people from the LGBTQT plus like demographic, and the classes are catered toward them, as well as beginner courses that like run for 10 weeks, but like people have gone from the start of the course to the end and have made their debuts or are close to making debuts within 10 months. Like that's madness. Sorry, 10 weeks. 10 weeks, sorry.
Crazy.
Like, which is crazy. It's crazy, like time frame. But that is the way it is, like because people people constantly want to learn. So they
I know that this is such a cliche question for people in wrestling, but just like for say like the 16-year-old sitting at home listening to the Fox interview right now, who's going, I don't know, I really don't know if I should do that. Like, would you say 100% go for it, take a chance?
so anytime someone asks me about wrestling training, I always say like I will admit, like first off, get your education. Your education is the most important thing. Wait until you are the proper age to start, because if you start before you're the right age, and then you get hurt, keep in mind that like wrestling is a physically demanding like sport, and if you get hurt, you could potentially be left with permanent like damage. So get your education, make sure you have that, and then if you decide to try wrestling, try it for 6 to 9 months. I say that because some people just try it for a month and then that's it, they quit. But you're not getting the full experience by doing that. 6 to 9 months is the ideal amount of time to be like, okay, at the start it's tough, but it gets easier. And then when it gets easier, you start to have more fun during the course of that. And then you can decide like, okay, do I want to continue on or do I want to like change change what I want to do? Because people do tend to forget. It's like when when they don't go the wrestling route, they just decide to pack it in instead of actually like, okay, how else can I be involved in the show? It's like you can be a referee, you can be an announcer, you can be a timekeeper, you can be like commentary, you can be a merch stand, you can be a runner, you can be security, you can be like a producer, you could be like lighting, photographer, like videographer. Like there's so many different aspects that make a show, and every role is vital. Like there's no less role. Like it, and what I mean is like none of the roles for a show are deemed less. Everything is as vital as it is for to be a wrestler. Like wrestlers are the main goal for a lot of people, but you can do all these other stuff, and this will make you so much more of an asset if you are versed in all these other things. Because when I first started, like I didn't step in a ring till for at least a month into my training. Like, so that meant that I was outside a ring, like learning to fall, learning to do little holes, all before I've even stepped in a ring. But I worked as a camera crew. I worked as a merch stand. Uh, I worked at the doors. I worked as security. I all these different other roles before I actually had my first match. So therefore, like it's only fair that everyone should come in the right way, and then I not look at it as a deterrent, but look, everyone's doing their part. It's part, as they say, paying your dues.
Yeah.
Paying your dues in order to therefore get to where you need to go. Look, if you watch through OTT, chances are you can see a lot of lads around the ring, like during shows, that are probably in security or like staff, like t-shirts. Chances are, like you'll watch them, and then soon enough you'll see them actually in the ring, because that's how people get their start. Because it's a great opportunity for you to learn. Not only like are you doing something for the show, you are actually learning as well, because you get to watch the show as well. So 6 to 9 months, definitely don't don't rule out any other job that's being given to you in wrestling, because everything is vital, and you never know what you might excel at unless you try them.
That's actually really good. I was last week I was listening to an interview with Tony Chimmel, and he said the exact same thing. Always have something else where they look at you like they've so many wrestlers, but they might not have enough camera people or video editors. Always have something where they need you.
Yeah.
So that's really really good advice. Like for myself, like I've got video editing for camera video editing. Always have something else you can go back
Yeah,
on. So
absolutely. Absolutely. Like if you're multifaceted, it means that like they've no choice but to keep you. Like you've made yourself irreplaceable to a
yeah,
degree. And that's what you want. You want to be there the whole time. You want to excel. You want to do better. So learn all different aspects. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
and in turn, like always don't be afraid to actually teach as well. Because it's where, as I said, when I started, I would have killed to have someone like myself in the like as a ref, like to be able to guide me when I was wrestling. I would have killed for that. Like someone that'll actually like guide me along and make sure that I don't make mistakes. Whereas like now I try to teach people that it's like, look, I'm guiding them along, and I try to enforce that like with whoever I teach. It's like help them. This is your job. Your job is to help. Like you're doing your this is part of your job. So if you can do your job properly, it means that people want to work with you. And if people want to work with you, it means that you will never not work on shows.
No,
So
now I want to be really respectful of your time, because obviously I know you've other stuff to do, and you have to make sure you eat. So I'm gonna ask just the last few non-wrestling questions. So I know you've other interests outside of wrestling, as you mentioned earlier on. You're a Twitch streamer as well. You stream over on Twitch. Is it Foxman2390?
yeah.
Um, what type is like? Because I've seen some of your streams where you're watching wrestling, and then you'll even like what we're doing now. You might have a few people on and chat wrestling. Is there anything else like on the stream as well that like people come over, check out my streams? This is what I do.
So like for my streams, like I mainly lean in like for so long I tried not to lean into the wrestling, but realized that this
I have no choice.
yeah, I have no choice. I kind of like I've started to really lean into it where okay, we're doing wrestling watch alongs. It's something that's close to home, so it'll probably be local promotions, and we'll have the chats during it, or it'll be promotions that are outside of our own completely. So that way, like I can enjoy it as well as a fan, because that's the one thing that I don't get to do very often is
Yeah.
actually enjoy wrestling outside of my bubble. So, but for the streams, I do watch longs. We have the chats. I have tried doing like a wrestling booker game show. I test ran that like a few 2 weeks ago. It went down okay, so I might do that again. But I'm hoping to do live podcast discussions as well as maybe other like wrestling related themes or game shows, like, and the odd bit of gaming here and there. Like I have done Minecraft as well, which is random.
Who hasn't played Minecraft, you know?
Well, I'm looking to do other things like if group games like Among Us or something, just something to engage people because I I get bored very easily. So therefore, like I want something that can get people engaged and want to actually interact as well. So by doing it's just trying to get people actually coming in,
Yeah.
which is the tougher part.
A really good one for, we'll say, like playing games and to really just everyone have fun. Any like Jackbox party games are very, very good for that. Very, very good. Like I can't tell you how many times me and my mates have absolutely cried ourselves laughing playing Jackbox. Especially the there's one, it's like a rapping one, robots. Like I can't tell you how many times I have been absolutely destroyed verbally by a robot. At this point, I'm just nothing. But as like 100%, like the Twitch is really hard to start up on, especially this day and age. So like what you said, they're finding things to really bring people in and interact. That's a really good one.
Exactly. Like it was just something that like, okay, I tried doing it during lockdown. I couldn't really wrap my head around it. It wasn't until like in like the last like few months that I actually really like leaned into the wrestling, and that's what kind of helped me get to affiliate. So I'm in because my end goal for the streams was to be able to, okay, if I became affiliated, it meant that like people can actually start either donating or like subscribing, and therefore like if people were able to do that, it means that down the line I can have like charity streams that could actually like I could actually put that money to good use and whoever needs to. So like that was the idea. That's the idea that I have in my head for the streams, and that still remains like one of my key goals for it. But apart from like being a streamer on Twitch, like I also like do a YouTube channel as well. So it's with wrestling related shows as well as video games and like podcast discussions as well. Like that's on YouTube with the Nerds of Us channel on YouTube. But like again, it keeps me occupied. It feeds my insanity of coming up with different ideas for shows. I like being creative, so this is a good way to do it, and it's a great way to also. It's another way to engage people as well, just not in a direct format, so to speak.
Like you've got the pixel art as well that you do as well. What got that started? What got the pixel art started?
That started back in 2014, 2015. I'd originally bought a starter set for my daughter, thinking like, okay, like I'm gonna get this for sure. I'll need to learn how to do it so I can show her. And instead of her learning to use it, it became me learning to use it and me wanting to do it. And my daughter not even seeing a fucking bead in their life. So yeah, I just got really sucked into it. I find that it's very it's kind of like people with the adult coloring books. It's a great way for me to just shut off from everything and just focus on one thing. It kills a few hours. I enjoy doing it because it allows me to be creative as well. And it's plus you're only hampered by your own imagination on what you can do with them. Like there's some people that can do 3D imaging with them, which is mental. Like they're playing like 4D chess while I'm just stuck in 2D. So, but the likes the pixel art, like yeah, like I've like loads of different ones scattered around, and I'm just like, shit, like Like, quick example for your video like aspect.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so there you go.
Oh,
I'm a
wow.
bull. That's really, really cool.
So you can tell like the wrestling aspect didn't fucking didn't hide away from me.
Have you ever thought of like making something and then going to one of the lads like, hey, look, this might be a bit like dumb, but use this as a weapon.
They wouldn't hold up as a weapon. That's the problem.
Ah,
Yeah, they're not that solid. Like
it was
maybe on a canvas, yeah, but like nah,
worth a shot.
yeah,
Just
it was worth it.
see somebody, like the Timothy Thatcher now coming out with like the pixel art just like smacking off somebody's head. Oh.
Like it's fun because wrestling is like allows people to be like creative and especially with their merch and coming up with different logos or different t-shirt designs. It also feeds me because I look at it and be like, I can make that.
I see what you're doing. I can do that too.
Yeah, I can do that too. Only in pixelized form. Like I've made stuff for Session Matt Martina, I've made stuff for Jordan Devlin, Terry Thatcher, like More Than Hype, Sky Davis, Tropicana when they're around. Like I've made stuff for some of the lads and ladies. So like yeah, they enjoyed it. Like I have one of my pieces is signed by Sky Too Hotty. That's up there.
Oh wow.
Very, very cool.
I won't be able to dig it out. Damn. But yeah, like it's essentially Sky Too Hotty, and I had him sign the top and the bottom. So yeah.
Did he sign that recently, or is that a while ago? Oh wow.
No, he signed it when he was over, like for those couple of shows, like so.
That's
which was
weird.
so weird to try and do because like I had the thing with me. I had it just right there beside my bag, and I'm just like, I'm trying to figure out how to like approach him about it. And sure enough, like Jamie Conlon just like, what do you think of that? It's like, oh shit. It's like I was wondering what the hell he was pointing at. It's like, oh shit, he's actually helped me.
He's starting the conversation for you.
Yeah, he did. There you go. I was like, thank you.
I think we're all a bit like that, when it comes to people like that. Like I remember, like I tell the lads a story. I was at Elimination Chamber in 2018, I think it was, and it was just after the show, and I was going over to the typical, we'll say, Mark Boy thing, pointing at the sign, the rest of me a sign, take a photo, and Funaki just happened to be there, and I'm still a massive Funaki person. I'm there,
SmackDown's number one
announcer, and I'm there like, that's Scotty too hungry. And I was like, go over say hello. I'm like, I saw that's Funaki. I'm like, go over say hello. No. Well, I wouldn't be like really respectful. It was a briefcase. He was literally sprinting. I was like, oh, he's gonna, he's going somewhere. So we all have that moment. Before I asked like the final question, because it's been somewhat distracting me. The replica belt behind you. What replica belt is that? Oh wow. The OTT World Championship.
That is sick. So cool.
Like it's the first like replica title I've actually bought, and I was just like, right, if I'm gonna go for one, I may as well go for something that
means a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's been like getting like a first tattoo. Well, the first one's gotta mean something.
Apart from that, the other one is it's the recent cruiserweight title.
Oh.
So Lauren, that's a nice title actually, yeah.
With the purple strap, not the black strap.
Yeah.
Does it have the purple or orange, let's say, logo at the bottom for the WWE logo?
Purple.
So it's the first one.
Yeah, it's the first one. Like, so.
See, I am so far gone when it comes to that now. I wish I could show you. Like my hallway going up to my stairs is like replica belts all the way up the stairs, and then a briefcase. I'm so far gone that it's. I don't know how I'm still functioning with things, but
man, like once I got that, like that first one, I was like, I understand why people start getting into collecting them. Then I understand that now. And
Once you get the first one.
yeah, once you get that, it was like, oh yeah, like I understand that now. Like, like it kind of got me thinking. It's like, right, there's a lot of belts in the Irish wrestling scene. I wonder which ones I could actually try and get. And just like realizing, yeah, it costs a lot of money to get these.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's the only problem.
not right now. Not
Wait.
right now.
Wait till Black Friday. That's when I get all mine.
Nah.
But I want to be really respectful of your time here now because your food has arrived. I'm just gonna leave the last bit here to you. So if there's anything at all that you want to plug, anything that like you want to say, this is your time now.
Okay, like so basically, yeah, like I've already plugged it earlier on, but like I will do it again. So yes, I am a Twitch streamer. I'm on I'm Foxman2390 on Twitch. I stream wrestling related content and watch alongs, as well as other things, hopefully in the works. I also do a YouTube channel with a few of my friends. It's called Nerds or Us. It's on YouTube. We do wrestling related, a wrestling related themed RPG, or D&D, whichever you prefer to call it. We do podcasts, video game playthroughs, as well as topic discussions and a few other shows as well. So yeah, they're the two main things. I sell pixel art, which is on foxybros.retailer on facebook.com. And if you want to see more of my artwork, it's on my Instagram, which is Instagram/Fox Niall. And yeah, that's where you'll see most of my stuff. So yeah, there's my plugs as far as I know. And go support wrestling. So like support like your local promotion as well as your local talent as well, because you never know, that one t-shirt you buy might help them like buy like a coffee or pay a bill. So
as well, like it could be 10 times better than what you're seeing on TV. You never know with that one show.
Exactly.
But Foxy, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I was honest to God, it was absolutely fun learning and talking to you. So thank you so much for getting it with us.
No problem. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
Carmo, you want to say the last words?
Yeah, just to say, I was just going to say thank you so much, Foxy, for joining us on today's episode. We can't wait to see you back in an OTT ring. We can't wait for your injury to heal up, and we'll see you again soon. But genuinely, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Yeah, thanks.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
So with that being done, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for listening to this week's episode of the Five Marks podcast. Now, you're going to absolutely hate this outro. It's the outro we've had for so long. Carmo, do you want to do the outro?
For this week's episode, we are officially ding, done.
Oh, what an episode.
Such a bad outro, but look, it does what we need to do.